on you at this time. As always, we're happy that we can share this little time together. As you know, as you're just starting your spiritual development, and also as you know, you are approaching the Easter season, and many of the different faiths, of many of you which have been of the other faiths through the years since childhood, happily as you got older, but you'll discover a great difference here. We do not parade around carrying palm branches. We do not parade around and have Easter lilies all over everywhere. We do not say, oh, well, now we're approaching Lent. It's time to do this, do that, and do the other. Because you see, as you learn your spirituality, as you travel your spiritual path, you will know and understand these have little or no meaning with much of anything. Except it's like watching a parade. It's just something fun to do, just something that you can say, oh, well, I did this, I did that. But as far as meaning, as far as learning, as far as benefiting anyone, it does nothing. It is just something that is there. And I know all of you have heard, oh, well, it's Lent. I'm going to give up candy for Lent. I'm going to give up pretzels. I'm going to give up this, that, and on the list goes. And oh, we have to fast. And time again, the churches will stress about Jesus going up into the mountains and fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. There again, man has interpreted the word literally instead of spiritually. When they said he went up into the mountains to fast, it did not say he did not eat or drink. But everyone assumes that he spent all that time with no food and no water, that God sustained him, the Father kept him. Fast does not mean that. Spiritually, fast means if you have a bite of a cracker, a little sip of water, and that is enough for you, that is fine. If you need more than that, that is fine. What the word fast means in spiritual sense is that you remove yourself from the material world. You calm yourself down, you clear your mind, and you communicate with the Father. You try to push aside all your troubles, all your fears, all your material thinking, and clear a channel that you may communicate with God, know and understand His love, and what it is He wishes for you to do through your life on earth. It does not mean you don't eat. It does not mean you don't drink anything. It does not mean that you give up this or that you walk instead of drive your car, or you can't have any candy for so many days. That has nothing to do with it. The only thing it has to do with it is your ability to know and understand that you're a spiritual child of God, and your ability to clear the channel to communicate with Him, your loved ones, and your forces. That is what is meant by the word fast. It makes no difference if you eat or don't eat. And as being in the physical body, you have already discovered, if you go a couple of days without food and water, you cannot concentrate on anything because you're too miserable, you're too hungry, you feel too bad. So how on earth will you communicate with the Father, keep the channel clear, and concentrate on His love and devotion to you when you're too busy thinking how hungry you are, when you're too busy thinking how miserable you are? There is no way you can communicate with the Father. So it does not mean you must stop all these things in order to know God, understand God, and sense God. What you need to do is to let go of your material thoughts, your material ways of life, and place yourself in His hands and arms and say, I am your child, Father, lead me, guide me. That is what is meant by fasting. And it is the same in your churches with their parades at Easter time and all the flowers, all the pomp and circumstance. And when it is over and done with, are they a better person? Are they any different than they were before it started? No, the majority of them are just the same as they were before as they were after. Made no difference. They still were the same thing, do the same things, think the same thoughts. So what have they gained? What is the purpose? It's just the fact to look around, oh, I went to church services, blah, blah, for this, that, and the other. Oh, I have to go blah, blah evening because we're having an Easter sermon, blah, blah, blah. It is all show. It is all superficial. If they felt it within, if they opened up their heart to the Father, they would not announce it. They wouldn't parade around all fancied up, carrying this, doing that. It would make no difference if anyone seen them or not. Jesus went up in the mountains to be alone. He did not care if anyone seen him. He did not care if anyone knew he was there. He wasn't there to show. He wasn't there to proclaim to the world, oh, here I am. I'm going to stay up here and fast for blah, blah days so that the Father knows I'm here. No. He wandered off all by himself. No one knew he was gone till they missed him. No one knew where he went until he came back. He was communing with the Father. And now today, and in years past, always a big production made about Easter, all big production about this service, that service, and another service. And do these people believe and think that's going to pave their way to heaven? Apparently so. But if you develop spiritually, you know there's only one path that will lead you into the Father's arms. That is your spiritual growth, your spiritual development, and your spiritual understanding. And that is your ability to accept the Father, trust in Him, love Him, and have faith. And even though you can't see Him, even though you think you can't talk to Him, that does not mean He is not there with you. With every breath you take, with every cell that moves in your body, He is there, loving you, caring for you, leading you. And as you progress through the life here in this world, and as you begin to realize and seek out your spiritual path, you will know and understand that you are a divine child of God. He means nothing but good for you. He has nothing but love for you. He doesn't like to see you unhappy, sad, having problems, troubles, illness. But He gave you free will that you may know and understand that you do have the right to choose. You do have the right to decide what you feel is best for you. But if you open your spiritual doors and accept the guidance of the Father, accept the guidance of your forces and loved ones, you will make choices that are more correct, more precise for your needs, for you, your family, your loved ones. And the peace and contentment within you that flows, you will know and understand that you are a spiritual being. And you will not find this following other paths in your world because you have a high-paying job, because you have a fancy home, because you own new cars. You will discover none of these things will give you the satisfaction, the peace, the happiness that communicating with the Father, knowing and understanding you're a child of God, gives you. And yet it seems in your world, man has always chosen the most difficult way to achieve the simplest things. He feels he must take and give up this, give up that. He must go to church every Sunday regardless. He must do this, he must do that, and then he's going to find God. Then he's going to heaven. And you could be out in the wilderness, survive on nothing more than your knowledge, survive on nothing more than what's within you. And you will get to the Father. You will be in heaven just as quickly as those that profess they are. Because you see, everything's within. Heaven's within, hell's within. And if you don't believe that, you think about it. You get up one morning, everything's going very well, everything's wonderful, You just feel like a bubble that's going to burst. You're just so happy, so elated. Everything is just grand. Then the next day you receive bad news. You drag yourself out of bed. You think, why do I have to even bother getting up? I don't think I can stand to face the day. I don't think it's worth the effort. I feel so miserable. There's your hell. It is a state of mind. And as you commune with the Father and you begin to know and understand, these are circumstantial situations. They are here today. They will fade away. Your worries, problems, they're here today. They'll fade away. But the love of the Father never fades. The love of the Father never goes anywhere. He wraps His children in it. And it stays there through eternity. It is never removed. The only one that think it's removed is you yourself. The Father created you in His own image. He loves each and every one. You are His spiritual child. So why on earth would He desert you, leave you, and forsake you? But yet many religions would have you believe just that. Many churches and religions would have you believe because you're a sinner, the Father has turned His back on you, and you're doomed. And that is a gross understatement in every direction you want to go. No matter what you've done, no matter who you are, no matter what you think you've done, the Father's love is there constantly. He's constantly guiding you, protecting you, and leading you. There is no such thing that the Father has let His child go. And even though the other churches and religions celebrate Easter, and many times you see it in the papers and on the television, and it is beautiful, that is true, their ceremonies and some of the things they have and do, but ask yourself this question: what is it doing for each individual? Is it drawing them closer to God? Is it giving them greater understanding of their spiritual nature? Is it making them a better person? Are they helping more of their fellow man? And you can answer just about every question with a big, fat no. Here we don't ask you to parade around. Here we don't ask you to give up this or that. Here we don't ask you to change your lifestyle at all. We just want you to be yourself. We want you to do what you feel is best for you, and what you know is right, and what you know is wrong, don't do. The only thing we ask of you is to open your spiritual doors. Let your light grow and shine forth. Know and understand that you are a spiritual being. You belong to the Father and no one else. That does not mean you don't love everyone. That does not mean you give up helping others. It simply means that no matter what the circumstances are, the Father loves you. You are His child. And all we ask is you try to understand your spiritual self, work with your spiritual nature to evolve ever spiritually higher. So when you come into our world, and each and every one will discover at some point in the journey in life that they are very much alive, they're well, they're whole, they're healthy. There is no sickness in our world. There are no aches and pains. If you've lost an arm or a leg when you're here, it is right there where it always was. If you died a terrible death when you're here, you're just as healthy as the next individual. The only sickness there can be, and that is of the mind, because you see the mind is the soul, and when you come into our world, the seeds that you have planted in your mind, the thoughts you have nurtured and let grow in your garden of your mind, those is what you bring with you. You could not bring your money, you could not bring your possessions, you could not bring your body, you bring your soul. That is what you're made of, that's what you consist of, and that is where your love, your thoughts are kept in your storehouse. And when you enter into our world, you have that with you. So as you go through life on earth, you correct your ideas, you correct what you must do, Try to love your fellow man. Share that love with each and every one. Try to understand that each and every one of you are a child of God. Try to develop your spiritual self into the spiritual being it is meant to be. Then you have truly begun on the path to the road to the house of God. All these other things are necessity in a material world. Many things that you have to put up with and endure here in your material world is for your life here. But that does not mean you have to keep those thoughts. You have to keep those conditions because you're like a different being in our world. You shed all that. You leave it behind. When you come into our world, you are the true spiritual being that God created you as. Nothing more, nothing less. And you bring with you your storehouse of blessings and good that you have achieved in your journey through life. And if you wish to bring your negative thoughts and negative conditions with you, then you must work over here to resolve those problems, to get rid of them. So anyone in your world that has the idea as soon as they die, they're coming into our world and everything is going to be beautiful, is in for very rude awakening. Because what you don't learn and do in your world, you must do and learn in our world to gain your divine spirituality. And it's not to scare you. We're not trying to frighten you. We just want you to know and understand not all things stay behind when you cross over. And if some people will say, well, when you're dead, that's the end of everything. And we have found many, many in our world to be very surprised, very shocked. And that is the problem with many entities in our world to this day. They refuse to accept they're alive because they had firmly implanted in their mind that when you're dead, you're dead. And that is not the case. Your physical body is very definitely dead. It will decay into nothingness. But your spiritual body will be very much alive, very functional, very well aware of the true world, and all those that passed before will be here to greet you, to talk with you, to help you when you ask for it. And yes, you will meet your loved ones. You will meet your friends. You will meet your neighbors. Because you see, in our world, the truth will not be denied. Because here we function only on truth. There are no lies, there is no cheating and stealing, because everybody knows what the other one is thinking. Everybody knows what the other one's going to do and not do. Where in your world, it's not possible to do that. But as you develop spiritually and learn to see with your spiritual eye, you will understand and know many things that have eluded you in the past. You've had hunches, you've had things called intuition. That is not it at all. It is the Father, your forces, and your loved ones telling you to get up and think, oh, I'm going to drive down the road today, and you keep hearing voices or getting the sensation, no, stay home, no, stay home. And you avoid an accident or something happening. You go, and sometimes the accident is there or something terrible comes about. And those are your loved ones, your forces coming to you. It isn't just your own idea. It isn't just that you feel funny. That is their way to guide you, protect you, and help you. So as you turn within, let your light shine, and begin to let your spiritual self grow, you will find happiness, guidance, peace, and love. It's not going to come fast. It's not going to come easy. Many times you will doubt yourself. Many times you will doubt many things. But that is what makes you strong. That is what makes it even more reassuring to you. That is correct. That is the right path. Is your spiritual path. So we ask that you please follow it because the Father loves His children dearly. We thank you. We God bless you.